Hello everyone, welcome to Students Point. This is 2nd of September and today we are going to cover all the important questions for the day. And to get PDF of all these videos, you can join us on Telegram by writing the channel's name Students Point. You can also follow us on Instagram by writing the username The Students Point. And if you are finding this video useful, don't forget to like the video and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Also don't forget to press the subscribe button and the bell icon to receive the notification at the earliest, so that you never miss any opportunity to learn and grow every day. And after a few days, our cover page will be like this. Instead of using this cover page, now we will use the cover page like this. Here you will find the date. Here I have mentioned the time when I upload the video every day in the morning at 5 am. So recognize the video with this cover page. This is the thumbnail which I will be using from tomorrow or afterwards of tomorrow. I am notifying it because some of you last day commented me that you confused because of change in thumbnail. Our previous thumbnail used to be like this, but now our thumbnail will be like this. I hope everyone will recognize the video with this thumbnail. So let's move ahead. And today I am feeling a bit unwell, so my voice might be lower today. So you have to pay more attention today to hear each and every words. So let's begin. But first we will see a question, and everyone has to try to answer this question in the comment section. The question is, Setranju and Bhadar Dam are located in. These are the options. Read the options and then answer. Let's begin the first question. Which is the only sector to show positive growth as per recently released data of NSO on GDP growth rate? So the only sector which has shown positive growth rate as per the recently released data of NSO on the first quarter of growth rate of GDP is the agriculture sector. Agriculture sector has witnessed growth rate of 3.4%, while other sector have shown growth rate in negative. And NSO, that is National Statistical Office, has released the data on India's GDP growth rate, which has contracted by 23.9% in the first quarter of 2020, that is for April to June, compared to the same period, that is April to June in the year of 2019. And it is the sharpest contraction since India started reporting quarterly data in 1996. So since 1996, when India started calculating its GDP data quarterly, this is the sharpest decline since then. And construction, manufacturing, trade, hotels and other services, minings were worst hit sectors which recorded contraction of 50.3%, manufacturing 39.3%, trade and hotels 47%, and mining sector witnessed contraction of 23%. What are the other impacts of this lockdown and decline in economic activities? It has resulted into household debt as the incomes has stagnant and salary cuts, job losses due to COVID-19 lockdown. Thus, it has reduced private consumptions and leading to bank defaults. Since people's income have declined and have been cut by private sectors, they have been forced out of their jobs. Job losses has been resulted on mass scale, so it has made them unable to pay their interest and principal amount which they have taken as a loan from banks. So it is resulting into bank defaults. It has also reduced their consumption, so it has sharply declined private consumptions and thus has reduced the production activities in the country. The crisis is expected to be deeper given that a small scale sectors and informal sector is more affected than the organized sector. What can be done to come out of this situation? See, the only engine that can boost GDP at this time is government spending, as we know that private investment is minimal at this time due to low consumption and bank defaults. Banks are not in a position to lend large amount of money to private sectors, which private sectors need to invest in the country. At the same time, consumption in the country is not optimal. That is why private sector is refraining and restraining themselves to invest in the country at this time. So how can government spend? Government will have to spend either by building roads, building bridges, paying salaries, or by directly handing out money so that economy can revive in the short to medium term. Next question now. Consider the following statements about open market operations, in short called as OMO. In the month of February or March, we have dealt this kind of concepts in detail, but again, since it has been long time, we are going to see these things in detail. OMO. OMO is one of the quantitative tools that RBI uses to smoothen the liquidity. This statement is correct. So now focus on this word, that it is a quantitative tool of RBI, and RBI uses this OMO to either purchase securities or to sell securities. With this selling or buying of securities, RBI smoothen the liquidity. The objective of OMO is to regulate the money supply in the economy. This statement is also correct. And RBI uses, or RBI carries out OMO through direct dealing with public. No, if you apply even your common sense, then you will find that this statement is incorrect. As a country like India of such vast population, a single institution cannot deal directly with the public. It actually deals indirectly with the public via or through commercial banks. So here only first and second statements are correct. So B is the right answer. And an OMO is an activity by a central bank to give, that is, to release liquidity in the currency or to take back the currency from the banks to itself, so that liquidity can be reduced in the market. So its purpose is either to release liquidity in the market or to take back liquidity from the market. And RBI carries out OMO through commercial banks and does not directly deal with the public. It was news because RBI has announced a host of steps including term repo operations totaling of rupees 1 lakh crore in mid-September to ease pressure on liquidity with a view to ensure sustainable recovery of economic growth. So at this point of time, when there is low level of consumption in the country, when private sectors are suffering from lack of cash, people are suffering from lack of cash, so now RBI has decided to release some amount of liquidity, that is money, into the market to increase and give boost to consumption. Next question now. Rashtriya Khel Protsahan Puraskar 2020 has been conferred to, so it has been conferred to Air Force Sports Control Board. So here B is the right answer. And Air Force Sports Control Board was conferred with this award for the outstanding contribution in helping sportsperson to excel in their respective disciplines and implement robust sports welfare measures. What is it? This Rashtriya Khel Protsahan Puraskar scheme. This was introduced by government in 2009 to encourage involvement of corporates and sport promotion boards in the development of sports in the country. And this Air Force Sports Control Board is the apex body for the planning and conduct of sports activities within the Indian Air Force and at the inter-services level. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Renati Cholas. They ruled Renadu region, which is the present-day Kudapa or Kadapa district of Andhra Pradesh. This statement is correct. And they are said to be the first kingdom to use Telugu in administration and inscriptions instead of Sanskrit. This is also correct. So previous kingdoms used Sanskrit in their administration, but this Renati Cholas were the first kingdom to use Telugu instead of Sanskrit in their administration as well as in their inscriptions. And the earliest of this family was Nandivarman. This is also correct. So here all of the statements are correct. D is the right answer. And recently a rare inscription dating back to the Renati Cholas era have been unearthed in remote village of Kadapa in Andhra Pradesh. The inscription was found engraved on a dolomite slab and shell. The inscription was written in archaic Telugu. It was assigned to 8th century AD when region was under the rule of Chola Maharaja of Renadu. The inscription seems to throw light on record of gift of 6 martus of land to Brahmin priest. This martus is a measuring unit of land, and some lines are indicative of priority given to morality in those days. And this was the inscription which was found. Now let's have some idea about Renati Cholas. These were feudatories of Chola dynasty. These kings claimed that they belonged to Karikala Chola's dynasty, and they are said to be the first kingdom to use Telugu instead of Sanskrit in administration and inscriptions. About Cholas, Cholas controlled the central and northern parts of Tamil Nadu from around 8th to 12th century AD, and tiger was their emblem, and the Cholas also maintained an efficient navy. Now please appreciate one important point here. In examinations, they try to confuse you between emblem of Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. Remember that tiger is the emblem of Cholas, while bow and arrow is the emblem of Cheras, and for Pandyas the emblem is fish. I hope you will not confuse between these three emblems and the kingdoms associated. Next question now. MaidBot, which is a remote controlled medical trolley, has been developed by Indian Railways. So here B is the right answer. Indian Railway had developed it, and it will help deliver food medicines to COVID-19 patients, and it is providing service in Central Hospital of Diesel Rail Engine Factory of Indian Railways. Next question now. Consider the following statements about coal gasification. It is the process by which coal is converted into synthesis gas or syngas. This is correct. So synthesis gas is also called as syngas. Syngas is a mixture of carbon monoxide, CO, hydrogen and carbon dioxide. This statement is also correct. And Government of India aimed for 100 million tons of coal gasification by year of 2030. This statement is also correct. Now this year is very important, and the data for it is also important. That government has set the target for 100 million tons of coal gasification by 2030. So here again D is the right answer. And Union Minister of Coal and Mines Sri Prahlad Joshi has announced at a webinar that India aims for 100 million tons of coal gasification by 2030, and this is to be achieved through investment worth rupees 4 lakh crores. Next question now. The world's largest solar tree has been developed in, so it has been developed in West Bengal. So yes, C is the right answer. This is how this will look like. It looks like tree, that is why it has been called as solar tree. It was in news because Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CMERI, that is Central Mechanical Engineering Research Institute, has developed it, and it is being installed at CSIR CMERI residential colony at Durgapur in West Bengal. The installed capacity of the solar tree is above 11.5 kWp. What is kWp? kWp is kilowatt peak. You must have heard kilowatt hour, but here it is kWp, that is kilowatt peak. Kilowatt peak means the maximum capacity of solar panel or solar cells to produce electricity at standard conditions or in an ideal condition. What can be the standard or ideal conditions? Standard conditions or ideal conditions include a sky free of clouds. I hope you understand. These conditions include a sky when it is completely free of clouds, and it has annual capacity to generate 12,000 to 14,000 units of clean and green power in West Bengal. And there are a total of 35 solar PV panels in each tree with a capacity of 330 WP each. And if you have not liked the video yet, do like it and do share the video with your friends and loved ones. Next question now. Which state has recently launched Major Dhyan Chand Vijayapit Yojana? So it has been launched by Uttar Pradesh. So here A is the right answer. And Minister of UP Keshav Prasad Maurya has launched it. Under this Yojana, 19 international players from the state will get road connectivity to their houses. Next question now. Consider the following statements about Bon's religion. Let's see. It is a Tibetan religion whose followers are called as Bonpos. This statement is correct. And Senrab Mivo is considered to be the founder of Bon religion. This statement is also correct. And the religion heavily relies on Jainism and is seldom referred to as pre-Jainism religion. No, this is wrong, because the religion heavily relies on Buddhism, not on Jainism, and it is sometimes referred to as pre-Buddhism religion. So here only first and seconds are correct, so C is the right answer. And this is the location where Mount Kailash is located in Tibet, China occupied Tibet. It relies on Buddhism and is seldom referred to as pre-Buddhist religion. And the Kailash Mansarovar is referred by 4 religions and is linked to high spiritual sculptures in India. These 4 religions are Hindus, Tibetan Buddhists, Jainism, and Bones. Hindus consider the mountain as abode of Lord Shiva and his consort Parvati, and Tibetan Buddhists call the mountain as abode of Demchong and his consort Dorje Phagmo. Jains consider the dwelling place of their first 24 Tirthankaras, while the Bones call the mountain as dwelling place of Sky Goddess. And it was in news because amid border tensions between India and China, China has reportedly built a missile launch site in Kailash Mansarovar. It has mounted missile DF-21, which is a medium-range missile with a range of 2200 kilometers. So I hope you find the video useful. Do like and do share the video, subscribe and press the bell icon. Wait for the upcoming video. Until then, stay safe and thanks for watching.